What's poppin', guys? Guard Champion. Today, not only will I be wielding this lovely sword, but I will be doing a character breakdown on Hotaru HAGANEZUKA. I will be doing things a little bit differently now, as we are now separating the Funko reviews from these videos. So if you want to see those Funko reviews, check out my YouTube shorts, as that is their new home for now. Links for those will be in the description below. I better put this away before YouTube stops ruining this video. One last disclaimer before we get started. I will also be wearing a mask in honor of these swordsmiths in the village, as they wear the masks as well. Perfect. Let's get started. Hotaru HAGANEZUKA. He's definitely a character. We are introduced to him when he delivers Tanjiro's sword to him at Yurikodaki's place, where he ignores Tanjiro to talk about the sword that he made for him. He even expresses his disappointment in Tanjiro as the blade for him turns black. This has a reputation of the user being unsuccessful and unlikely to become a Hashira level swordsman, so he is slightly standoffish and seems odd with our first introduction to him. We see him next after Tanjiro breaks his sword fighting Rui on Mount Natsugumo. He is shown chasing Tanjiro with a knife as he wants to kill him for breaking his sword. Tanjiro is a good boy, but not to his swords. It's not really his fault, since he's not a true water breather. He recklessly threw his sword at Akaza as he flees into the forest as the sun comes up, in which Akaza breaks it to smithereens. Since the sword was never retrieved, it was therefore lost and had to get a new one made. As a swordsmith who had to keep replacing a sword for the same person over and over again, I can see how that's pretty frustrating, especially for Hotaru, because he has an extreme dedication and pride for his creations. So much so that he can be attacked by Gyoko, the upper rank 5 demon, and continue working. He could have stopped and ran, but as he was honing Tanjiro's new sword, the process he is using is a method passed down his family, and is a bit complex. This method he is using to hone Tanjiro's final blade is known to have killed swordsmiths, as it requires a forger to work non-stop for 3 days straight. This process is obviously a long one, and to stop midway through was a no-go for Hotaru, putting his life on the line for his work. What made him so mad at Tanjiro during the final part of his fight with Huntangu is that he put new scratches in the blade that are now unable to be removed, and that makes Hotaru furious as he tries to make his work perfect. His dedication does not end there. Hotaru trained in the mountains to become stronger, so that way he can make a better sword for Tanjiro. We see this as he is super buff and easily takes the sword away from Tanjiro effortlessly. For someone who is super strong, buff, and has a lot of sharp toys to threaten someone with, one would think that his weakness would be slim to none. Well, you'd be wrong. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. All it takes to take down this Goliath is to tickle his sides, and he will be immobilized for a few minutes. As a hot-tempered guy, there are a few ways he calms down. The sound of bells that he wears on his hats are soothing. Another thing that calms him down is one specific food, Mitsurushi Dango. One thing that calms me down is that the viewers, that's you, leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing on this video. Nothing makes me more angry than no interactions on these videos. Ah! Anyways, let's take a step back and talk about his past. He was born from a long line of swordsmiths as a HAGANEZUKA descendant. Hotaru is such a pain in the ass that he drove his parents insane, leading to Tekken, I'm not pronouncing this again, and raised him as one of his own. That's why Tekken and a few others seem to know him so well, to the point where they know how to handle him when he has outbursts. Tekken also gave him his first name, but he hates it because he thinks it's too cute. Therefore, he talks shit about it. Tekken, Kugo, and Kutetsu tried hooking him up with a girl one time. You want to know how that went? Not as horrible as you would think. He kindly turned her down because of his strong desire to focus on his swordsmithing for the Demon Slayers. Yes, that does seem like something he would do, but at least he puts his values first and was straight up about it, so there is no conflict or heartbreak for either of them in the future. So I have mad respect for the guy after hearing that. To my knowledge, he is the only swordsmith whose true identity was revealed. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. He had his mask broken during an attack from Gyoko. The purpose of the purpose of these The purpose of these Hyoko masks is to protect their identity, so the fact that his was exposed was kind of a big deal. Speaking of a big deal, I personally feel that Hotaru is a big deal, as he is one of the true heroes of Demon Slayer. As Tanjiro stated, the Slayers cannot slay demons without swords. They are just as important as the Slayers. Without the help of Hotaru, the end result of the story would not have happened if Tanjiro didn't have a suitable and well-built sword. A broken sword in the upcoming fights would have changed the course of the Demon Slayers forever, making Hotaru probably the strongest supporting character in the series, and they could not have done it without him. If you disagree, that's completely valid. Let me know in the comments below. And while you're doing that, I got the opportunity to meet the English voice actor for Hotaru, so I'll share my experiences with him now. Robbie Daymond. I met him at a big JJK signing event at First Form, and he ended up being my favorite person there after interacting with him. I was wearing the hoodie I currently am wearing, and that really sparked some conversation with him, as it seems to be very passionate about the movie that the hoodie was based off of. I only paid for a signature, but he did a quote and a drawing on the house, and that was super cool. That stuff cost extra, by the way. I just had a good interaction with him, and unfortunately I did not get a picture with him since I was on a budget, and that was one of my regrets from the signing. Super cool dude, so you should go check him out if he is somewhere near you doing a signing event. That's about it for the video. If you learned something new, or if you just like the video in itself, feel free to like and subscribe if you aren't already. Don't forget to check out my shorts, as that's where we do our Funko unboxings from now on. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Holy moly, it's hot.